where those paths would lead. If you know Moon was the play, if Underground was the play. The but yeah, uh, we have this new one set up, and once our gatekeeper clears out, we'll be getting this rematch underway.
Absolutely. Are they Ben's show? If something was to happen, let's say this isn't commentators jinx or curse or anything. Let's say Ravlin had an issue and let's say, I don't know, he had a blackout. He lost power altogether. I'm sure the racers, in the spirit of goodwill and all that good stuff, would allow the race to be rerun, so to speak. So.
And also, in all fairness too, I don't think anyone was having a particularly fun time with that seed, so it probably doesn't hurt to to go ahead and move out. It's like, oh, I have Edward in the underground, duplicate Porum on the moon. Yeah, I'll take a reroll. That sounds good. Spirit of fairness, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. I might actually, just for fun, pick up that seed and see where everything ends up being, because I want to know how that ends.
Absolutely.
I need to know how that train wreck ends, because it was looking to be a very big train wreck. Because I don't know how they would have gone on the moon and everything, but I believe they are starting up now, and we're just waiting for the delay to catch up. And there we go again. So we do have everybody's favorite Kane and his best buddy in the world, Kidia.
Kane be babysitting.
Yep. And they got a spoon. Well, just about as good as the last time. Adam and Spoon are just that useful.
Yeah, they're both items that they count towards your key item total, which is good. Sadly, neither one of them opens up any paths to our runners, so they're not going to be able to, go straight to Troya, loot the vault, things like, or the big vault, the small vault's still available, things like that. It's not a magma key that gives us full underworld access, but the spoon does have utility that if you get edge, that's pretty much a free boss in the early and mid game. And if you don't expect to get him, sell it for the cash. It's apparently a very well-crafted spoon.
Very expensive. I've never sold it, so it's good to know. So I don't expect, much like the first time, I don't expect anything different, although we do see that is Palom.
Correct.
Oh, got it right. First try. So we do see Palom this time. Might not be as useful if you do have Rydia in your party. Even as a kid, she's still pretty useful. Things like that.
Well, it entirely depends on if one of these early boss spots drops a good summon for Rydia, because Rydia in Free Enterprise will not learn her tier 2 spells until you have her growing up cutscene in Dwarf Castle. Meanwhile, Palom starts to learn them one level after you pick him up. Comes at level 10, level 11 gets Ice 2, I believe, level 12 gets Lightning 2 and Fire 2, and Virus and Quake much sooner than Rydia does. So, issue though is that he is guarded by a lunar boss. We don't know which one it is. It could be Wyvern right out the gate with a mega nuke before you even get a chance to see the second end boss. One very handy thing though, Nits, that our runners picked up in that first pot in the end was a Moon Veil. So we talk about, bosses being quote unquote cheesable. Any boss that only uses physical attacks, that Moon Veil will be a free win. The question is, do you use it early to get a leg up in the early game, or do you save it perhaps for boss in the Land of Summoned Monsters?
That is definitely a great point. I would say personally speaking, any boss that sort of acts as a gatekeeper, you would use it on.
Gotcha.
But that's me again.
No, I mean, I like that as well, because the thing about when you do finally get down to Land of Summoned Monsters, you probably have a way to grind out a level or a dozen, to just beat them that way. If you're locked in the overworld, you have very few good grind options. There are a couple that are okay, but much faster to just cheese it, then get to the underworld where there are better grind options usually available to you.
Absolutely. Some illusions in Troya that Ginger picked up, so definitely good there. We do see Magus making the play. At least I feel like this is what he's doing, if he's just going through his menus for fun. Coming back to this D-Miss spot, I This is a question I need to ask him.
I think that several runners have pointed out that they've seen Mist Dragon in this spot and in the Octomammoth spot a whole bunch lately. And this could just be him, making sure, let me check these spots now. If it's there, I get a huge advantage. If it's not, it's just a couple of early boss fights. I'm not going to fall that far behind, and my execution will probably get me caught back up later. There was one race in particular I caught him doing on SRL with Kobahi and a few other runners, where the two of them basically cleared out the moon, came back to Earth, Dragon Mist was in the Octomammoth spot, and they had wasted an hour of their lives for no good reason.
Nice. No, because with Yang he did the exact same thing. He went to this boss right away. So I was just curious. Because Ravi gains 3 levels. That's not huge. Like her HP is gonna go to what? Like probably 65 or something like that. So
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with chat that this is just to bump Riddy up a bit, except he did do it with Yang as well. So, and
Yeah.
Yang comes, with 300 HP out of the box, 10 times as much.
absolutely. And so he is going to take a more traditional path now, go and loot the registry. And we do see Fizz going up to Mount Hobbs, getting Kane, and being rewarded with Donkey Kong Cecil.
Well, Kane was our starting character. He's getting a Yang.
Oh, sorry, Yang.
Yeah.
That's right. I saw the Kane sprite and just got tongue-tied there.
Especially when you have multiple character sprites facing off against each other because of how many of the characters are used also as boss sprites. Easy to get them turned around. This fight, of course, we're on the N1 flag, so our alternate victory conditions are preserved. Survive 3 dark waves, not that difficult at the Mom Bomb spot, and get your XP in your character.
Yeah. Rydia taking another dirt nap as she should. And that's okay.
eLmaGus going ahead and looting Damsian and unmooring the hovercraft, figuring, on these seeds, it seems more likely than not that you'll have to use it, either to turn in a rat tail, pink tail, to gain access to Eblin Cave and Upper Babel. So let's go ahead and unleash it while we're actually in the castle.
Oh, or let's use it instead, because the hovercraft, if you hold down Y, not everybody seems to know this, it goes into like some sort of Super Saiyan hyperdrive mode and goes twice as fast, pretty much. So,
can I get a little neum from you, Nitzy? Can I get a little neum?
Neum.
Yeah, that's the sound it makes.
Yeah, that's the sound it makes. So perhaps he's timed it and it's faster than moving the Enterprise over and back.
And that is one thing I've noticed, is that because of the landing and takeoff time with the Enterprise, that's probably saving, a couple seconds, a few dozen frames, something of that sort. So maybe a new tech we see other runners putting to use.
Exactly. I saw in the Fabul shop there was Cure 1 potions only, so womp womp to that. Definitely won't see that there. Ravlin had just, I guess, dove in and then dove out. He seems to be looking for items this time around. A lot of our runners seem to be doing that for some reason, except for Fizz. He's deciding again, let's get all the treasures, and I don't blame him. I'm sorry, I don't blame him for doing that.
I can't believe you, Fizz. Looting treasure? What are you doing?
Well, look, you got a spear for Kane. Boy, that's not the starting item. Oh wait, it is.
Shadow helmet, base equipment for Dark Knight Cecil. This antlion cave is loaded.
Yeah, but we're gonna see who this lunar boss. It's Plague. It shouldn't be that tough.
Yeah, Kane is gonna do very good damage jumping. Only 1,000 HP to burn through here, and yeah, that's half of it basically in one jump. And Kane didn't even get hit with the count, so.
No, so it'll reset. So pretty free boss here at this point, as long as you get Kane in the air before Plague does his little count.
Yep.
And there we go. And let's see what is rewarded with here. I hope it's an adamant.
All the boring key items.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh
my god!
I'm gonna let him know to blame you for that, Nits guy.
That's it, folks. I'm out of here. I'm done. It can't get any better than that. So He must be feeling very dejected right now. Like, man, what's quick? What are the lottery numbers? 4, 8, 12, 16, and 32. The bonus is 1. There you go.
Yeah. I mean, it's still a key item. That's not to be discounted. You'll go to some spots in this. You'll go through a long fight. We saw that last night with the Mist Dragon fight at it was either the Asura or Leviathan spot. And fighting through it got you nothing but a power shirt, and then returning to Rydia Mom got you a Leviathan summon. When our runners, only 2 of them had Rydia, and 1 of them already had Bahamut. So still, Adamant, not most exciting key item, but a key item anyway.
You know what I'm super excited about? Derek Mist is somewhere out in the universe.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Our first seed before we re-rolled, Mist was just kind of, oh hey, I'm here. No scavenger hunt. This one, I'll tell you what I'm hoping to see. I've not seen it on one of our races yet, but I want us, our characters, to have a nice Magma Key seed. No hook required. Go to the Tower of Babel and see Mist Dragon teleporting upstairs.
Oh baby, that's. Oh,
but I also want the hook to be on the moon.
Oh my goodness, that is the max trolliness, and then you are an animal.
That's some Wells JC level trolliness right there. I hope I'm doing him proud.
I'm sure he would approve. Fizz did clutch out there on that 0-0, but it wasn't really as scary as it seemed. Kane was coming down. He was going to do 600 damage. Plague was going to be done. I had no worries at that point. We have Ruby and Fabul. We have a kick from Yang.
Yeah. A pretty clever move, because Rubicon will counter the base fight attack with a Fire 2 spell cast on everyone. The kick does not count as a base fight command. See, there's the counter from the Fire 2. Not doing too much damage in this spot, but definitely Fizz is very lucky that glare hit Rydia. She won't be getting XP, but at least his actual damage dealers aren't falling down.
No, exactly. And those Fire 2s aren't hitting that hard, so his physical attacks hitting more. So I don't anticipate. Chrono, yes, they did have to restart. eLmaGus had some sort of a German power malfunction there, so they agreed to re-roll, and that's definitely kudos to the community and kudos to our other runners to allow that to happen. So unfortunately, a glare on Kane, leaving Kiki Yang. Oh, and it does enough damage.
The clutch 44 damage to finish the fight. Let's see what the Fizz gets for his trouble here.
Yeah, that's swag kill. I don't know if that's in Neon's tracking game, but it should be. He gets a twin heart. Maybe we'll get music.
That's awesome. And Artemis arrows too, a very, very useful bit of ammunition. And Rydia can equip bows, so even though she's still stuck at level 1, Samurai Bow plus Artemis arrows will do a little bit of work.
I apologize, Wells. Thank you. I had misheard. I had heard it was a power surge, so I didn't realize it was just his power supply that just went conk. So my apologies to the German power grid. I'm sure it is one of the best power grids in the entire planet.
You and your haughty Canadian self just being like, I love my power grid, talking smack about other power grids.
Oh geez, I get power outages when it's sunny during the day, so.
I mean, I thought y'all fueled everything with like clean burning whale oil. I didn't even know y'all had electricity.
Whoa. Ginger remembering that you shouldn't fight now, and using the Cure 2 there to thankfully save himself. I thought he thought he could burn through D-Knight at this point, but perhaps not.
Yeah, not quite enough DPS. Definitely safer to play out the script here.
Yeah. Sometimes, like if it's in a spot that's really easy, I'll take him out, but otherwise just let the text run. It's a small time loss, but better than wiping, that's for sure.
Absolutely. So no real mega interesting key items yet. We have found the Twin Harp, which of course opens the way to the opens the way to. Speaking of power grid issues, I don't know if your stream's doing what mine's doing.
I had the circle of awesomeness. Is that what we're talking about?
There we go. Okay.
Yeah, we're back.
Tech issues notwithstanding, there we go. Twin Harp, of course, allows you to fight whatever boss is in the vanilla Dark Elf location. If you go there without it, you're going to wipe. It's going to force you back to your last save point. With it, Edward comes to the rescue, plays some sweet tunes for us as one of our favorite free enterprise features, randomized tunes on the harp. So, fingers crossed, we'll actually get ourselves a Name That Tune seed, which missed out on last night.
So we are going to see Fizz make the play-up ordeals again, but not surprising considering he did it the last time. So definitely shoutouts to him in regards to that. As we do see that Magus appears going to go and get his boy Palom. We're going to see who the boss is. Maybe it's Wyvern.
Not quite. No. We have the Lunar Dragons, which was a huge gatekeeper last night at the Rubicon spot. However, in this spot with only 400 HP between the two of them, definitely a sigh of relief to not have to fight these two jerks elsewhere.
That's absolutely true. Some of the tough bosses, the Plague, D-Lunar, so far getting out of the way. And Derek missed again.
I'm sorry. I know you wanted the bonus round to be well hidden, but just wasn't in the cards today.
Womp womp. That's you know what? That's what you get. Derek Miss going to be taking no prisoners, came down like sack of potatoes, and it's going to be up to Yang, who can't seem to hit him. And
oh my gosh! So although our other runners have found life potions already, eLmaGus has not, which means that if he can't burn this dragon's HP down in a hurry or just tough it out with Cure 2s, maybe taking a wipe and losing. Oh, he does. He resets out. Gonna want to find life potions before tackling that spot, it seems.
Well, that's good. That makes me feel a little bit better. That, that's the dream that Derek Miss actually took down a top runner. So.
But not to be. Not completely nonplussed, or opposite of nonplussed. eLmaGus going right back for more, thinking he's going to take the dragon down this time. Let's see if he has some backup strats while TheFiz continues fighting his way through ordeals.
And he has Bagan here at the top, so pretty easy boss at that point.
Did you say he has bacon? I thought that's something we didn't like in Final Fantasy IV.
Bagan, sorry.
And of course,
jeez.
Bacon jokes referring to many of our great runners who also do the no CW category of the vanilla run. Bacon is where you soft lock your game and have a hideous noise coming through the speakers. That sounds like sizzling bacon.
And back to Tech Mom Bomb. This is not no joke in this spot.
Yeah, a lot of worse monsters, but definitely not a cakewalk. So the TheFiz will have to do a little bit of work here. We'll see if he has enough curatives to bear out this fight. eLmaGus, meanwhile, making it through the first phase of D-Mist. Mist went ahead and transformed. This gives him good time to heal up both Yang and Kane. Make sure they're at full HP for when the fight resumes.
And thankfully, Kane's jump against D-Mist does not trigger the Cold Mist command, so that's always good.
Yeah, and even though the spot would not do a lot of damage with it, it still eats into those precious HP, and it delays your time even more just because of the spell animations.
This is true, but it sure beats a wipe.
Absolutely. Kane's doing work though with about 800 damage on the jumps, so as long as Kane, dodges some of these nasty punches or bites or chomps or however a dragon made of mist attacks you, should be coming through it pretty cleanly this time.
See, just to get through this fight, I might have used the Moon Veil just to I mean, Demist is not taking any prisoners in this spot, so do that, and then at least you know you're through with Kane. And if that's the goal, then hey, we'll get levels for Yang and Rydia later.
And the Fizz taking a wipe to Mom Bomb, not so much the mom herself, but after her explosion, the little bomblets kind of cleaned up his party. So we'll see if he decides to change his strats or if he's ready to give her as another go.
No, absolutely. So we will see here Yang with another jump, 444, but takes him down.
Night Dew pointing out that the Fizz does have 10 Sirens, but the question is he familiar with the Lilith grind? For those of you watching, if you use a Siren on the top 2 floors of Mount Ordeals, you will call 2 of the Lilith enemies, the kind of pink Lamia-looking things that give, I believe, 6,600 XP. They're weak to fire, vulnerable to stop effects with hourglasses, and it's a pretty good early game grind if you just need levels to make it through.
Womp womp, Magma Key from Derek Mist. The dream is completely dead.
Okay, we still have to go see the actual Mist
Oh,
item,
this is true, and I'm sad. I was really hoping it would be Hook.
I mean, our runners already had their chance at a Hook Seed, and they disappointed us. We'll just have to live with it. But this, of course, is going to make routing a lot more interesting.
But maybe Rattail holds the crystal, and they'll have to dive Hook to get it.
Absolutely. That Hook may still be required. It could be, Darkness on Underground, Hook on Moon, and then Crystal at the Rattail spot. But there's going to be a lot more routing decisions for our runners to make now. We do have Underworld access, which means there's a free key item just sitting there in the Fey March. There's another one you can get by talking to Yang and Bed in the Sylph Cave and coming back up to Sheila, and then tons of bosses you can go fight if your party is capable. So it'll be interesting to see where eLmaGus, Gingerdamus, and RavlinBay all spread out from here.
That's true. It looks as though for the Fizz, he's decided that Ordeals is just not going to be the play for me right now, so I'm going to do some other stuff.
Looks like he's heading to Baron. If he clears out the inn, he'll also be rewarded with Magma Key and ultimately the Rat Tail.
Yeah. It looks as though Ravlin is going to throw a key down a well and caused an explosion. Hopefully nobody dies.
Yeah. So while we're in a little bit of a cutscene and overlapping, just want to give quick shout-outs, first of all, to all 4 of our runners today. Make sure you give all 4 of them a follow. They're all really great runners of this game. If they weren't, they wouldn't be in the top 32. Make sure you give Rivers McCown a follow. He's our restreamer today. He's the reason you have a show to watch. If it weren't for him, we'd have little SRL windows open and, be enjoying it in the silence of our homes. And then also big shout out to Villain Fetishist, aka Neon Gray, our tracker, who is also putting in a little bit of overtime today. So thank you to everyone who's making this possible.
Absolutely.
Especially that Nits guy.
Yeah, especially that Invenerable guy, whoever he is.
Yeah.
Looks like item of note exit in the oh my goodness, in the Dwarf Castle item shop, so kind of exciting.
Yeah, a very underrated item. They can definitely save you a lot of backtracking. Of course, some zones don't let you use them. A sealed cave, the Tower of Babel, can't use them there, but if we end up going to the lunar subterrane, it can be very handy to have those, especially because our Rosa won't learn exit until you complete the storyline battles at the Tower of Zot.
Also, shout out to Magus. He decided to go into the Tomra Treasury, and he got some items to sell. I think he got crystal armor, and that's worth something.
Oh yeah, wonderful way to finance your grind fights. We have seen sirens for sale, so I expect to see a lot of yellow dragon omelets being made by these runners, and crystal armor is a great way to finance those hefty purchases.
Absolutely. So unfortunately, Shihei, there's no offline tracker or sorry, offline seed generator. So you can only use the website to generate the seeds, but it's a great website. Boardface is an outstanding programmer for, Oh, and just casual pass, hanging out in the Fey March. Easy game.
Finding an early pass always makes me hope that the crystal will be hidden on the moon. I don't want anyone to get out of visiting. So, of course, we could find crystal next, and then everyone will be off to the races already. Could be a very jetty seed in spite of the relative hardships of the first one.
Yeah, or it could be, crystal at Ogopogo. That's the dream right now.
Love some crystal at Ogopogo.
That is the dream right now. I don't know if K2 allows for that, but if not, it should.
Oh, it absolutely does. Anyone... go ahead.
No, I was just going to say go ahead.
Oh, okay. No, you.
Yeah.
We're too polite. But yeah, K2, so for those of you who tuned in during the qualifiers, we were in K1 with N1, which meant that we had 17 default key item spots, one of which only one could move around, so to speak, and that would be based on where the Mist Dragon was. K2, we opened it up a little bit more. We add to that the place where the vanilla summons are found, Sylph, Odin, Leviathan, Asura, and Bahamut, as well as the 5 Lunar Deus bosses, Pale Dim, Plague, Lunar Dragons, Ogopogo, and Wyvern spots. So now we have the same, 18 key items, the pass is 1 now, split up amongst 27 key item, spots. So a little bit more to explore, hopefully, but a seed can still be jetty and give everything you need right off the bat.
Absolutely. So we see Ginger making some omelets, so he'll be super excited about that. Interesting though, no dedicated healer at this point in this party. So I'm wondering what his endgame goal is here. Maybe just a mini grind, perhaps, just to get some levels so that some of the bosses aren't that tough. Because, I feel like in theory you could always take on Z without a dedicated healer. It's just, you want to make life easy for yourself.
Oh, absolutely. And the one thing that I've not spotted in a shop, I may have missed it. If you saw it, let me know. The big key item to make that possible, key item I'd say, important consumable item, is Cure 3 potions. If they found Cure 3 potions and have the money to afford a stack of them, then sure, go for it, no white mage. More power to you. But if you don't have Cure 3 potions, you kind of need a white mage.
Yeah, I haven't seen them yet, but I might have missed them potentially. I find that Cure 3s are usually in the underworld somewhere. Usually.
Yeah. The other thing to note too is that Gingerdamus only had 10 sirens at the time, which even if he burns through all 10 of them, won't quite put you to Z levels, but will make clearing out these underworld bosses a lot easier.
Absolutely. And you do see the importance of the exit item. Magus using it to save all those steps walking back, because nobody's got time to walk through a castle.
Oh, absolutely. And RavlinBay buying a huge stack of sirens. Was that 40? That was 40 sirens. Ravlin also does not seem to be intending to fight another boss without a whole bunch of levels under his belt.
Which, hey, is definitely not a bad play. You need those levels anyways for Z. Really low 40s is about kind of the break point for Z. So I don't blame him. I'd probably do the same thing.
Yeah. L79ers asks in chat, does Magus usually buy vampires like that? I've not actually seen enough of Magus's races to state for sure. But I will point out that the vampire item is the highest magic attack item still for sale under the S2 flags, with the exception of maybe things you find in the Kakol shop. So they can definitely do a bit of work. They are single target, and they do give recovery as well, as long as you're not using them on an undead opponent.
But note, they do not break wall. They do get reflected, so...
Maybe regretting that purchase now that he's found the sirens for sale and needs a little bit more money to finance his grind fight. Still gonna find a way to buy 10 of them right quick, and probably going to do a mini grind before tackling more bosses as well.
Sheila hiding the darkness crystal, according to chat. We must have just missed it. So Ravlin is going to take off to the moon and get his free character. I personally hope it's Edward. Maybe Tella.
I'm surprised that eLmaGus isn't following suit on that front, because getting a 5th character before doing your grind can be just a little more efficient right up. Gingerdamus finding Octomammoth, by the way, at the Vanilla Calcabrina spot. One of my favorite bosses to see here, because you get to see all dancing around to the doll's music.
Yes.
My other favorite's probably Elements there, just because you get to see all 4 of the fiends dancing as well.
You're right. Question from chat. Why does the seed not want us to hear the Twin Harp music? Chat listener or chat viewer, thank you so much for the question. It's because the game itself can be what's called trolly, and nobody likes Dark Elf Cave. Nobody. So, unfortunately.
Okay. The audience loves Dark Elf Cave. The audience does, but the racers all hate it.
Yeah. And hey, maybe Crystal's in Dark Elf Cave. It is possible. Boy, would that be top tier troll right now?
That would be a treat. They've had access to it for a long time. They're all overlooking it. It is a hike to get to Cave Magnus and a flight on a chocobo, and then cutscene.
Yeah.
It could still be the answer though. We'll see how this feed treats everyone.
Yeah. And it is Edward on the moon. Boy, man, I should really buy a lottery ticket.
Nitsky, these racers are going to ban you from doing future commentary when they listen to this VOD, dude.
Oh, jeez. Edward on the moon. What a time to be alive.
Who's doing our commentary? No!
Wait, I missed something. How did Gingerdamus get Edge?
Edge is the character in the Dwarf Castle.
Oh, okay, he's in the castle. I'm confusing from the previous seed where he was lying in a bed, so...
Oh yeah, back-to-back seeds definitely throws me for a loop as well. Kudos to anyone who intends to do consecutive races. My brain can't handle such things. Of course, anyone who makes it to the top 8 will have to handle that when our Zemus-Zone concludes in September with back-to-back-to-back championship matches.
I am so hyped for that. So we'll definitely see. Ginger will probably be a little disappointed when he goes to the moon, but not that disappointed. And we do see Magus making the play for music. Hopefully our restreamer can flip to the music when it's time.
Oh, it's already on Magus' stream. I don't know if Magus did that or not, but he's taking care of the audience. Very kind. He knows who's out there rooting for him, and he's doing them some justice with this play.
as he would say, for the fans. So hey, maybe this is the play. It could definitely, end the match quite quickly while everyone else runs around.
And while getting excited about the music, I did miss what key item Gingerdamus got from King Geod. Neon, did you happen to catch that? I'm looking for a post in chat.
Gotcha. Maybe it was... I missed it too. I got all hyped about music and... Is it package?
It was package, yeah. Okay. I saw Naidu say Geot wants to burn it all down, and so I was like, okay, is that it, or was it some Bahamut summon perhaps to make Rydia useful? But so package, unlocking another character. We know Edward's on the moon, so he's ruled out. Who is it waiting in the Village of Mist, and will anyone take the time to get him?
And we're about to hear some music here. It sounds Final Fantasy VI-ish.
Whoever's with
Mustache Man. Yes, that's why it's familiar. It's Cyan's theme, a la harp.
But now let's see who's actually waiting behind Dark Elf, because this is a spot with very high magic defense, so Palom's not going to be doing a lot of work here.
Oh, go! Oh, no.
Well, you don't want to cast spells on Ogopogo anyway, so this is kind of a mixed blessing. Still an annoying boss to go through without a white mage, but I think Magus has enough Cure 2s to get him through.
Hope so. How much HP does this spot have? About 4,000?
Let's take a quick look. 5,000 on the dot.
5,000. So we'll see. It should be okay as long as, Ogo doesn't get another, big wave off. Because that never happens.
Meanwhile, RavlinBay and TheFiz both following in Gingerdamus' footsteps, and they will be rewarded with a ninja, at least, and a key item. A package, not one you're probably going to see anyone turn in, unless they end up being really hard up for a white mage. We've not found one yet. No Rosa, no Porum. If either one of them are in miss, I could see one of our runners taking the time, sitting through the cutscene, and picking up an actual healer to go along with the rest of the team.
Absolutely. So let's see what item Magus gets. And we are looking at the Baron Key. More items, more people.
I mean, Baron Key, under this flag set, one of my favorite items to get. It is a little cutscene heavy, but you unlock the key item from fighting the Kenatsu spot, the key item from fighting the Odin spot. You get a character. You get a ton of chests if your characters still need a little bit improvement on the gear front. So let's see if he follows this path set out before him.
Or if he decides to go back underground.
Yeah, tons of options available. He also hasn't been to Sheila to pick up his Darkness Crystal yet, which may be a good thing, keeping him from that temptation. But I'm pretty sure he talked to Yang, so it should be available to him.
Yep, he hasn't gone there yet. I believe he's decided to follow the Baron Key path, so we will definitely see what's going on here.
Yep. Gingerdamus going to talk to Yang, will be following suit and getting a Darkness Crystal. He'll probably be just as disappointed to see the Spoony Bard on the moon. And RavlinBay and TheFiz pretty much high-fiving here in the Dwarf Castle Crystal Chamber.
Yeah, they're like, hey, bye-bye, Edward. Hello, Edge. We missed you. So, yeah.
So, if it sounds like we're focusing a little bit on eLmaGus right now, it isn't, because, oh my gosh, it's eLmaGus. It's because he's the only one currently forging new territory on the seed. Everyone else cleaning up these bosses very well, great execution, but it is ground that's already been trod by other runners at the moment.
Yeah. We do see Ginger is going to go and talk to Sheila and will be rewarded with the Darkness Crystal. So curious to see. I noticed he's been doing things just a little bit differently, so maybe he'll dive the moon. I'm secretly hoping he will.
Oh, gotcha. And people have corrected me. eLmaGus did pick up the Darkness Crystal. It wasn't lit up on the tracker at the time. Apologies for that. So he does have all these options available still as well.
Yep. Also note, Baron Key is huge because hiding in the basement is a boss that you may not have ever known about from vanilla days. Odin. In K2, he can hold a key item, so definitely a spot that our runners will want to check. I've had a couple of seeds where the crystal has been at the Odin spot, which is a little bit trolly, but it's not too bad. And Magus making quick work of Mylon Z at the Baigan spot or Bagan spot.
Regrettably, appears to have used his last Artemis arrow, or at least does not have any currently equipped on Rydia. So he'll probably be re-equipping her during this fight. But who does he actually have to get through? Ooh, it's a lunar boss. Which one do we have?
Come on, Wyvern. Boom!
Nitz, you've got to stop it, Nitz.
Nailed it, but he's got Star Veil, so fight super free. So, I mean,
Nitz guy won. More like Witch guy won.
Fortunately, able to get one off on Kane to get Wyvern down because Kenatsu's only got, I think, 3,800 HP or something like that here. So
Oh yeah, it's not bad at all. And
Yeah.
but that magic power, nothing to sneeze at. Good thing he got the Starvel up in time. And he gets a white mage. There we go. The
Hey,
twins are united.
I always like taking the twins to endgame. They always just seem to work so well.
Eh,
Whilst I don't have that kind of energy to watch multiple streams, I've got enough going on here.
I I'm very strongly in the anti-Porum camp. Anti-Porum camp. The just you grind and you grind and you grind. Are you ever going to hit 2,000 HP? Okay, whatever. Come on, maybe you'll survive a Big Bang.
Nerfing Big Bangs means she doesn't need 2,000 HP.
Who has time to nerf Big Bangs? We
I
gotta go
know.
fast.
Who doesn't? I'm curious to see what the item is here. I feel like it's going to be a trolley item, maybe Pinktail. Look.
Okay, now
Wow.
back attack has taken your psychic powers.
Wow. See, I got one wrong.
But that does mean we get to go turn in the rat tail, and also Magus already unmoored the hovercraft from Damsian Castle, so he doesn't have to dive back in there. And let's see how this chain ultimately pays off.
Now, wouldn't it be funny if Rattail gives Pinktail? That would be funny.
Yeah, it's funny on two fronts. One, because it seems like the mini guy gets confused. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, you got a pink tail? Where did you get that?
Yeah.
But
Sadly, it's just the Luca key. You know what that means? Diving the sealed. More game, more sealed cave. Everyone loves the sealed cave.
more rabbit holes. Let's go diving.
No, it's oh jeez. It's a tough seed. You got pass, and you're looking for a crystal at this point. I think Magus is probably happy with the party that he has, because he's actually equipping Porum. So it's definitely a tough one.
Yeah, looks like he's going to do a quick peek at the Odin spot, and I did notice he does still have 6 Artemis arrows left, saving those for a rainy dragon day. But gonna take a quick peek at the Odin spot and see if it's someone beatable. The lots of bosses, of course, can be managed with this party. Let's see if this is one of them.
Absolutely. Odin sometimes gets forgotten by some runners, just because in the vanilla speedrun we don't even this is a tower you just don't go into. So
Absolutely. And the big thing for me is if that Baron item that you get after beating Kananso and going down to the pot is an exciting item, oh, my mind just blanks. I don't even realize it. But it's just Water Hag in the Odin spot. eLmaGus going to be... Oh, no.
He's going to be... Oh, he decides no.
My bad. The gauntlet we fought last seed in the Baron Inn. So
yeah,
that's my bad. I didn't even realize. But that will be a lot of fast fighters doing a lot of hard-hitting damage. So I don't blame him for backing out for now either.
Oh my goodness. That's because you're thinking man, Fabula, that's so easy. Nope, not in this spot.
Yeah, and Silver Star, that was also last seed. Water Hag was on the moon at the Bahamut spot, and the Fabul Gauntlet was in the Baron Inn. This is a new seed. We did have a reroll, and that's why you and I both got confused. So Water Hag's still out there somewhere as hopefully a free boss fight for our racers.
And we see Fizz again making the big plays. Hopefully he is rewarded. Unlike the last time where he got, unfortunately, utterly crushed.
Yeah. Well, his team is a little better now, although I don't think he's been to Baron to pick up Porum, and he's not peeked at who the package character is. So he doesn't have a white mage here, which makes this a little riskier than it might otherwise be.
Yeah, but if it's, if it's an easy boss, like this boss.
Might help if your black mage were awake for it.
Well, beggars can't be choosers,
Yeah. Not a bad encounter. At least all the HP of Peldim is split up amongst.
But Fizz decides,
monsters.
Nope, I don't want to do that. Interesting that he didn't even give it a shot, and he is just. I'm not even going to check Bahamut Cave this time. I'm going back home.
Yeah, and that makes sense. He may have realized, oh wait, let me try to bulk up my party a little bit more. I do have the package. I do have the Twin Harp. There are plenty of places on Earth I can still make my way through.
Yep, and he's got sirens, so he just has to remember where he parked his Enterprise. And there he goes.
Dude, where's my airship?
Yeah, there it is. He might go just do a mini grind and go back. I'm curious to see how that's going to play out. While we see Gingerdamus take down Mylon Z in the Bagan spot. Or Bigan spot.
And yeah, again, all our runners crisscrossing paths right now. Not really any new ground being broken, but that's fine. Oh, at this point, what are our runners really looking for? We have to have the crystal, of course, to be able to even fight Zeromus. Getting up to 10 key items would also be pretty great. I believe Magus is already there. 3, 4, 7, 10. Yeah, Magus has hit the 10 key item mark. So our runners, I think everyone has. So they're all really set to do very quick grinds. It's just an issue of getting that crystal.
Interesting. Rydia, we say goodbye to eLmaGus when Edge comes into play. So he is much happier with the twins, apparently, than with Rydia. So
Absolutely. Rydia, if you haven't found Bahamut or Leviathan, she's not going to learn the really good black magic spells till much later. She even takes more experience to gain levels than Palom, less HP. So he's definitely the right choice between those two black mages at this point.
yes. Fizz started up ordeals and then ran into Bomb and decided nope. And none of our other runners have even attempted ordeals at this point. So.
Yeah. And it'll be interesting to see if anyone goes back there. Mom Bomb, definitely a trivial fight at these levels with this team, even in that spot. So whoever goes back there shouldn't have that much trouble. It's just an issue of if that's the play you want to make.
Exactly. So we'll see here. Wondering where Magus is going to go to next. Figure out what's going on.
Yeah, he's still not activated his Darkness Crystal and seen Edward. He does have 10 key items and a whole bunch of sirens, though, so it looks like it's grind time, and he'll probably figure out where he wants to go next while gaining all these levels.
And Fizz is going to make the trek over to Magnus Cave, or Magna Cave, or whatever we want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And he will be rewarded with yet more items, not the item he wants.
Yeah, he'll get the same chain that our other runners have gone down. Baron Key will be here. If he chooses to follow it, he will get a White Mage, he will get the Hook, and if he turns in the Rat Tail as well, he will get the... oh my gosh, where is my mind? What did we get? The Luca Key is what we got for that.
A big unfortunate wipe for Ravlin on Wyvern. He did not get his Star Veil up in time if he did not have it.
And that is a very tricky thing about making sure you do your agility manipulation correctly. You want to have, if you don't have Cecil, you want to have your slowest character in the middle, and have a character with enough agility to pop off a Moon Veil or Star Veil, possibly by using run buffering, just to make sure you survive that.
Yeah, and we'll see if Gingerdamus is able to pull it off as well. Does have Palm in the middle, is pretty slow.
Does the run buffer, at least the initial one, didn't do one after picking the item. Let's see if Kane does get the Moon Veil off. So Gingerdamus will make it through here handily. RavlinBay either out of Star Veils or going to hunt some down, or just giving up on that spot altogether. Crashing his airship into the mountains a couple times. That's fine. It's still good. It's wrapped in mithril. It'll be okay.
Yeah. Airship driving, the toughest part of this entire game. As we do see Magus decide to go into the Luca Cave, he is avoiding the moon like it is some sort of plagued planet. Because diving Luca Key, I think it's long. I mean, it's E3, so it's not that long, but it's still long.
The Gingerdamus ditching Kane to add Porum to the party. It's surprising. I understand wanting to add the White Mage, but getting rid one of the best physical attackers in the game surprises me quite a bit. And I need you to remind me, Neds, when we fought Valvalus, was that this seed or the first one that we re-rolled?
That was the first one. I haven't seen Val since.
So if we've not seen Val on the seed and she's gatekeeping, Gingerdamus will end up regretting getting rid of that Dragoon.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of interesting plays here. Magus diving Luca Key, Ginger dismissing Kane. I need to ask the important questions when this is all over. Like, maybe that was just a mistake, but if it was a mistake, even if it's me, I reset and I roll through it again.
I can, yeah, same. Like if I've picked the wrong character to dismiss before, it's painful, but you have to be looking to the future. You know, if I have to lose, 2-3 minutes on a reset right now, that's better than getting to a point where I cannot continue because I don't have the characters to do so. Ravlin here, by the way, upon taking that wipe to Wyvern, has decided I'm going to single dip the Tower of Babel. I have no tower key, but I can beat a boss up top anyway. Let's see who it is. Let's see what I get. And, this could be a play that just pays off. I did not see what eLmaGus found on the Luca Key pedestal, by the way. Oh,
he found Earth Crystal, apparently. He has Dark Imps to go through. They're annoying more so than anything else in this spot. They shouldn't be too hard. His physical attacks are not that bad in this spot. So for Evil Wall, because he's supposed to crush you. So
yeah. And RavlinBay giving us a little more information. Gingerdamus will not suffer the worst possible outcome for ditching Kane, because Valvalus is guarding the upper Tower of Babel. She just teleported up, which means she will not be required to fight this seed. So sadly, we're not going to see the Kane comeuppance come into play.
No, that makes me also very sad.
Well, these things happen.
They do. It's okay. I fully come to expect this. Leviathan here isn't the end of the world. Even at these levels, he should be okay.
Yeah. The main things here is that the big wave will do a quarter of the max HP damage, and that'll be its hardest hitting attack, because the spell power of Dr. Luge, actually he doesn't have one in the vanilla game. So whatever Boardface put in for him is not that difficult, as evidenced by that Ice 2 only doing 170 damage to Edge. And then, another 172 to Edge. So RavlinBay will have this fight on lock. The question is, will he be rewarded for it?
We will see soon enough, as we see Gingerdamus going to go back to the moon, or to the moon, I should say. Fiz getting his rat tail and deciding to dip into Baron Castle, and he will be rewarded with more game, as we already know.
And let's see, eLmaGus, is he going to continue to follow this chain? This has been an impressively long chain, giving us, again, we got Twin Harp fairly early in the game. I believe Antlion spot. Is that correct, Nets?
Yes.
And then from Twin Harp, we get Baron Key. From Baron Key, we get the Hook, which combined with the Rat Tail from early in the game, gives us Luca Key, which gives us Earth Crystal. So either way, this is a ridiculously long chain. The question is it going to actually reward our racers or punish them with a whole lot of wasted time?
My hope is punishment. And my hope is that Ogopogo spot has the crystal. And that will teach them for not going to the moon. When they clearly had the opportunity.
And a single dip Tower of Babel not paying off for RavlinBay, just finds a shirt where the sea serpent was and nopes back out of there. So not the play to make this time. We'll see where RavlinBay goes next. Can always go back and try the Wyvern fight again. Can go down into Fey March, fight those bosses, or many things are on the moon.
It's funny, none of them have come back to Ordeals. At this point, Ordeals would be pretty cake, considering their levels. If the crystal happens to still be there, that's quite comical. We have dolls for Magus in the sister spot, which should be pretty easy. He's got Hourglass, so.
And he has Quake on Palom, so as soon as the kid gets a turn, all these things are going to go down very quickly.
Yeah. So pretty free fight there as we see Ravlin is going to try and get some more levels here, but learning that Yellow Dragon can definitely cause some problems. But he is through there and he'll get some levels, so he'll be happy about that.
Yeah, Yellow Dragons, although egg form, you get all the time you want to set up the kill. Once they hatch, they will counter most attacks with a Thunder ability that does a quarter of your max HP to each of your party members. If you have a weakness to lightning, it'll do double that and can very quickly rack up damage in a hurry if you aren't wary and aware of their abilities.
So at this point in Ben, do you think that grinding up your characters, because there have been a lot of points that our runners have decided no. Odin, for example, with the Fabul Gauntlet, ordeals, Fizz is about to learn the hard way at this point. Would you just rack up levels and go back and take down those easy spots, or would you continue to forge on with this world's longest fetch quest?
I think as long as the chain is giving you items in the chain, you kind of need to pursue it. Although at this point, there's not that much more that it can give. If it gives the tower key, it could lead him back to downstairs to Babel. If it gives him the pan, he can go loot. He can go get 2 items, one from the Sylphs and then one from Sheila on the second visit. But the chain's about to run out, and it'll pay off one way, or it'll just be bupkis.
And we find on eLmaGus' side that Rosa and Tella were hiding up the top of the Tower of Zod with Odin in the way, which was pretty cake at this point, but dismisses Rosa, which interesting choice. But considering where he's at, probably not that difficult at this point.
It depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to win the game, you should take Rosa. If you're trying to annoy Rivers McCown, you should throw her away. And I think I know which one Magus is doing right there.
It is a pretty big club. Some of these fighters hitting Fizz pretty hard, but Fizz able to do enough damage, and all that work for Magus gets a legend sword. Neon, it might as well have been a drain spear at that.
That's I love it. All that work. eLmaGus going right back in now. He landed here after leaving Zod. He's ready to go fight the Odin Gauntlet, and he has Quake on the kid. I don't know if he has hourglasses or not to freeze the soldiers before they start swinging, but he shouldn't have problems with this fight at this point.
Chat, if Magus had kept Rosa, guaranteed crystals, so definitely interesting. Definitely interesting. So Magus is back here for round 2. He knows what's going on in this spot. Fizz a little bit ahead. His Palm's taking a nap, so that's unfortunate. But
these intermediate battles are a great time to get that to pick characters up. With the soldiers, because of how quickly they attack, you kind of want to knock them down. But it's on these intermediate fights with the Weepers, the Water Hags, the Imp Captains, that's a really great time to pick your characters up, use those life potions, heal up, so that you don't immediately get whacked in the face by the soldiers on the next round.
That's very true. Again, Fizz coming in with obviously decidedly much lower levels than Magus, so it will be quite an accomplishment if Fizz pulls this off. I believe this is the last battle?
No, this is only the third one. So Fizz is actually in trouble.
He is in trouble.
No,
I thought it.
Last one. You're right. No, I was wrong. He already fought the gargoyle.
He did fight. That's what I thought. He's gonna try and coffin the other fighter here. Hopefully. And Rydia pulls through in the clutch. Look at all this. Look at all these levels she's gonna get, all by herself.
Yeah, and just to recap, it does go 3 soldier fight, monster fight, soldier fight, gargoyle fight, monster fight, soldier fight, drain spear.
Oh, Mega's gonna be so happy he's doing this. Hey, drain spear, it's super useful, I hear.
So, honestly, at this point, after getting the Legend Sword, I'm uncertain if I would check anywhere else on Earth because of the fact that there are 6 to 7, depending on how you count the Lunar Dragon chests, spots to check on the Moon. and very few key items, left. The Earth has been very key item dense. Most of these remaining ones should be on the moon.
There is still ordeals. Chat reminding us that there is ordeals. Neon, we will definitely talk about a 649 ticket because we're pretty much. There's also I believe Yang. I saw someone, maybe it was Ravlin, dip in during Fey March, and there was Yang on one side, and I can't remember who was on the other side. So there's still those two spots.
Yeah. Well, I think it was probably this Pale Dim that RavlinBay is fighting, given how hard it's hitting, and oof, yeah, that was a lot of damage to Palom right there.
Yeah. And Ravlin's decided, no, that Pale Dim, you're too tough.
Yeah, and the Yang spot will also be brutal. If you have, Ravlin did put, no, it was Gingerdamus who used a Moonveil back at Wyvern. If Ravlin still has a Moonveil left, you can kind of cheese the Yang fight. The kick will still do damage, but not so much you can't heal through it with Cure 2s. But that Pale Dim was also hitting like a truck.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do see Fizzes through here, backtracking and getting the Wyvern fight out of the way. So he's done with ordeals. Him and Magus, I think, are almost even keel at this point. So yeah.
Well, they are kind of covering some of the same stuff, but the TheFiz here will get his hook, of course. Can still do Rat Tail for Luca Key for Earth Crystal to Legend Sword. So there's still a few more rabbit holes that the TheFiz could go down at this point. Just depends on what plays he decides to make.
This is very true. We do see Gingerdamus has been doing quite a grind. Edge at 2,500 HP, Young at 4,500. He's trying really hard. I think he's just setting up for endgame at this point.
Yeah, probably thinking I really want to get the 2,000 HP or something close to that on Porum. Probably thinking, let me get Nuke on Palom, and let me go do work against these bosses that are in front of me.
Yeah, Ravlin deciding that Young just as tough as Pale Dim, so we don't want that.
Rivers in chat pointing out that Gingerdamus may ultimately be going for Reflect strats for the Z fight, having 3 mages who can cast top tier magic, set up a Star Veil, reflect your spells, and you only have to do 61,000 points of damage to Zeromus instead of, what is it, about 110,000 damage nits?
Yeah, because he refills it. It's like 61,000 refills them. So.
eLmaGus gonna go get some fancy new clothes and probably reset so he doesn't have to walk down the tower afterwards.
Yeah. So interesting, Fizz coming back to our deals, remembering that he had already partially cleared it and praying that perhaps the crystal is up the top of the tower.
If the crystal is here, that will put the TheFiz to be first in go mode. He does have the pass and won't even have to go to the moon. Just grind up a little bit more and be good to go. He picked up a Porum from Baron Castle, so he has a white mage. Should be in pretty good shape. Remembering to swap his rows here, although this Mom Bomb shouldn't really be an issue at this point.
No, should definitely not. Between Yang, Keen, and Edge should be enough. Yeah, I'm curious. I'm very excited to see what's going on with Fizz, what his mindset is at this point. Is he going to pull Porum back up? Because she needs some levels bad.
If I had to guess, I would guess that he's going to wait until he's going to grind, and if he does go back for the Dragon Eggs, she'll get 6 times standard experience. You'll get a ×2 multiplier for the 10 key items, and then a ×3 multiplier for being more than 5 levels behind the median party member level. And so ×6 experience there, that is, oh my goodness, that's 180,000 plus another 24,000. That's 204,000 experience from her first yellow dragon egg. So she'll get caught up in a hurry.
This is very true. Question from chat: are we there yet? The answer is no. Unfortunately, due to a technical issue on Magus' side at Coglin, the runners decided to re-roll. So this is technically Seed 2, but not really. So just to bring it to speed.
Yeah, we knocked about just shy of 40 minutes on the first seed before all our runners opted to re-roll. And the Fizz is through Mom Bomb, going to hopefully get some big payout here, while eLmaGus is heading downstairs to fight those summon bosses.
So we will see how those go. And we will definitely see at this point what the Fizz has. And he gets a Sand Ruby. I don't think we checked to see who's there, but unfortunately, no crystal at the top of ordeals, and Ashura with 1,000 HP will be pretty free.
We can kind of narrow down who that character can be at this point, because we know where Rosa and Tella were.
Yeah.
Did we actually see our duplicate this seed? It was the first seed where Porum was the duplicate, so we've not seen our duplicate. Could still be Fu, could still be Cecil. Is that about it? Fu, Cecil, and one duplicate left?
I believe so. Do you think it?
Go ahead.
Do you think it would be worth it to pick up Fu at this point?
Honestly, I do, because even fresh out of the box, he will have more HP than even a level 52 Porum would, and those can go a long way if you don't happen to get your nerfs off during the Zeromus fight. If I intended to do reflect strats, I would possibly even replace one of my front row fighters with him. Like if that's Ginger's plan, having Fu, Porum, Rydia, and Palom all reflecting spells off of Starveiled Yang would very quickly burn through those 61,000 HP.
Absolutely. Question in chat: why is Karate swinging a sword? In his AI script, he actually does have some sort of a sword, but for some reason, when it was translated to the US version, that just didn't happen. So,
yeah, I think I've seen Rivers explain that before. So if Rivers is in chat and you want to give a few more details on the monk wielding the darkness sword, feel free to let us know. The Fizz going and leveling up his party. I guess he does not care to see who is in the bed in Kaipo. Does not care to see who the package character is. We have the hook. We've not seen who the character in Evelyn Cave is. So between those three and the giant spot, lots of Sid is the other one we're missing, Ned. So we've not seen Sid, Cecil, Fusoya, and we've not seen our duplicate. So lots of decent options out there, but no one seems to want to check.
yeah, I always forget about Sid. Chat reminded me that everyone forgets about Sid. So.
Oh, Sid is at package. Okay, so we know Cecil and Fu are two of our other three, and our duplicate, of course.
So we do see Ginger going down the rabbit hole. He's gonna go find some more key items there and be rewarded with Legend Sword at the end of that.
I wouldn't really call anything being rewarded at this point. All our runners have to be a little frustrated that nothing has paid off so far. Magus looks like he's going to be the first one through this karate fight. And, maybe it'll have a reward, but it really surprises me we've not seen anyone just grind up and make the moon gamble yet.
It's always a tough play. You don't want to waste all your time and then not be rewarded, when relatively speaking, these fights are much easier. But again, without the crystal sword, it's all relative, I guess.
Magus nopes out of the karate fight. Figures his team is not quite ready for it yet. Is he going to go try it again, or possibly fight the lunar boss? Let's see.
That's definitely a valid point, Rivers. Nobody wants to lose by 8 minutes by having to dump into the moon. So.
Well, yeah, you say that, but the very second race we had was won by Supremacy, up-and-coming runner in the community, who, it wasn't even a moon gamble. It was made the Baron Castle play and won by 40 minutes over all three of his competitors. So it's you see, and say going to the moon is a risk, but going anywhere is a risk when you get down to it.
Absolutely, but I think because our runners are more familiar with, honestly, it takes me time myself to remember where all the bosses are on the moon. So maybe it's just that unfamiliarity. There's also Bahamut's spot that people have also forgotten about. Crystal could be there, so definitely some interesting strategies coming along here. Definitely for the next race, I think you might see some potentially different plays from our runners, but also again, perhaps not. Gingerdamus going through the 3 imps fight here at Evil Wall, who we haven't seen yet, so that's always exciting.
We did see that one. Magus went through there earlier. That's yeah, he knocked that out and got the oh goodness, Nitz. What was the key item there again? Was that Earth Crystal?
Oh yes, that's right.
Yeah. So Earth Crystal, which then led to led to ditching Rosa, breaking all our hearts.
Yes, I think that's my mind blocked that because Rosa left the party, and it was just and your reward is a glass helm. Magus must be grinding his teeth and oh, just exit, not
those Feymarch bosses. I hate them. I hate them so much. I wonder if he's fed up with Earth now and is going zoom pow straight to the moon. Would not surprise me.
No, he's just like, forget this. I don't care if the crystal's right next door. I'm going. Yeah, you called it, Inven.
There he goes.
He's decided enough is enough. You want to see the moon, folks? I will give you the moon.
Well, while these racers catch up a little bit, just want to give you all a heads up on some of the upcoming events we have. Tonight, here, again, on RPG Limit Break, we have another Zemus-Zone League race between Nightdew, Couch 23, Azentayama, and Dragon Darch. That's at 9 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, and going to be commentated by Bill Boddix and Obda Jr., a couple of really great guys, really great racers of this game in their own right. Make sure you tune in for that. And if you're like me and can't get enough free enterprise, make sure you have the community race open in another tab. That's going to be at 9:30 Eastern on the Randomania network. So should be both good races. You know, this one will have league flags. The one over there, the flags will be a little different, and it's a community race, so you'll get to see how strategies change when you're in a race with 20 people versus when you're in a race with only 3 others.
Exactly. Yeah, I can definitely hear chat. Magus, there's, I think, a reason why he stepped away from this game, and he might be remembering why he had stepped away from the game to begin with. So,
oh, don't compare free enterprise to vanilla. The unfair comparisons.
Oh well, the game is being kind of trolly, which I'm sure Wells JC will be very happy about. So.
One interesting thing, though, is that TheFiz is also taking a nap in the spaceship. So we may be having races through the lunar core at this point.
We might be. Magus realizing that the greatest character of all time, Edward, hanging out on the moon. He again instantly nopes out. Again, no surprise there.
You see, if he really wanted to troll Rivers, he should have taken Rosa over Porum, and then taken Edward over Rosa.
Exactly. So we do see Magus. I'm curious to see which boss he'll probably go to Pale Dim Spot.
I think that he uses more of the same strategy I do. I dislike the Pale Dim Spot. It's usually one of the last ones I check. I love the Wyvern Spot because it's surprisingly low stats for a moon boss. I love the Lunar Dragon Spot because you actually get 2 items for the price of 1. As well as a ton of XP. So it just depends on whether he cuts left or right when he gets down here to the 6th basement, I think. Maybe 5th.
Nope, you're absolutely right. I feel like he's probably going to do what you said and go to the Lunar Dragon spot, and we will see what happens there. Terrible name? No, Magus was not first. Sorry, Ben.
No, you're saying the same thing I was going to.
No, TheFiz actually dove the moon really, really early, and then Maybe the previous seed gave him a little bit of jitters, and he's back here to beat up Dr. Luigi and his faithful boy Frankenstein.
Yeah, and Nikki Noel, these were the dolls on the first seed before we re-rolled.
Yeah.
Oh, I love what eLmaGus is doing here. If you come down to this area of, I believe, the 6th sub-basement, and you use a Siren, you get in a fight with 2 King Ryu's, Gold Dragons. And because of the fact that they can be stopped, and you can life glitch one of them, you can get even more experience here than from a lot of our other grind spots. So very efficient grind, very effective grind. We're going to see his levels jump up quite a bit after this mini grind.
Yeah, I have never seen anybody do this grind before. I wondered why he had stopped, but it's definitely different, that's for sure.
It's a very good one. And it's not a bad spot to come to if you just don't have Sirens in a seed. You may not have an easy time finding the double Gold Dragon fight, but these Moon enemies can all give quite a decent chunk of change. And here we go. Here's the big money. 180,000 XP. Woo, baby.
Look at all those levels. Fatal, Weak, Forum's going to learn Cure 4, which ultimately, I think at that point, that's all Magus really wants, is Forum with Cure 4, and he's probably good to go from there. Uses that apple. Uses that other apple.
Yeah, definitely want to pump her HP up as much as you can, because just Big Bang will chew through her so quickly. Taking a little nap here before challenging the bosses. Let's see. He could also do Plague Spot first. It's a little easier than the Lunar Dragon spot. You only get 1 treasure, but they are side by side. So let's see which one he decides to tear into.
He does go for the 2-for-1, which definitely is a smart play.
Let's see who he has to fight to get him, though.
As we see, he's going to have to fight Dark Elf. Fizz is through both sides of the Dr. Lugate fight, so we will see. It's a pan.
That's 2 key items unlocked on Earth. Does the Fizz go back and check them now, or does he keep diving the lunar subterrane, though? That's a, ooh. There are a lot of items that I would not leave the moon with. The pan is one that tempts me. Just because, again, 2 items at once. It could be a big play by the Fizz here if he pursues it.
Well, with this poison walk, it's so tough to sell. But it looks as though he is going to go back.
I'm pretty sure his Porum knows the exit spell. Maybe he just doesn't realize you can use it in the lunar subterrane.
Maybe he doesn't. Sometimes I forget that certain spells can be used in certain spots. So
let's see if Magus takes advantage of the Dark Elf's dragon form, losing its boss bit. Should have, yeah, here we go. There's the weak spell. Yep. Since Dark Elf loses his boss bit on transformation, he becomes vulnerable to all sorts of status effects, including weak, single-digit HP, and down it goes.
And we'll see what's here. There are going to be 2 items for Magus. They might be key items. They might not be. They could be Garbo, like Drain Spear. And Murasame and Stardust. Stardust is not what he was going for, but it being the best rod in the game, I definitely don't blame him there. Also, Murasame, the best. No, Mazmian being the best.
Yeah, second best. Still really good. Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad finds. The big things there is that his Palom is going to be doing even more damage. His Edge will be doing even more damage. And he did get another, 170,000 experience from that fight. So it all helps. It's not what you want. He could have probably already taken on Zeromus if it had been the Crystal. But, this is just going to make it even easier when he does get to the big man himself.
Yeah.
Or big lady. We do have a lot more lady sprites added to our pool thanks to Scala Kitty.
Yes, absolutely. Free fight, King Queen Evelyn in the Plague spot. That's a Plague spot, right?
Yes. Taking advantage of their battle text to do a little inventory management. Can't do anything while they're talking. And he's not even going to do the DPS route. He's just going to let them take care of themselves.
Which I don't blame him. nobody got time to do stuff. Fizz has hit Yang over the head with the pan, and I assume now the next stop will be, does Sheila hold the key to the game? Was she holding both crystals the whole time?
Sheila loves holding the crystal. I swear, I think she has a higher. I mean, I don't know how the logic works, or if it's just confirmation bias, but she always seems to have something important. And Magus gets
A pink tail.
even more excellent gear. He does have the pass. If he's worried about Porum's survivability, he could fly back to Earth. If he does find the crystal here, grab that adamant, slap it on her, slap it on a front row fighter for the damage, and then come back up. But if the crystal's at Ogopogo, he's probably going to opt to just go as fast as he can and save and head on down to the final fight.
Fizz, for the fans, come on. Don't stop at the item shop now.
We got to know what this key item is.
We must know. And
oh my god!
Oh baby!
Crystal hype! Sheila holding it like always, and the Fizz, that puts him in go mode. No one else is even close. eLmaGus will probably also do the Wyvern spot before going to Pale Dim. Gingerdamus and RavlinBay not even heading to the moon yet. This could be a major upset, everyone.
Absolutely. And the Fizz probably not even realizing. He might think, oh geez, maybe I'm behind. Maybe I'm in second. Maybe I'm in first. We will see. He is. There's something in this shop, I remember. Something useful.
And the Fizz was being a little despondent in IRC before starting the race, being like, oh, well, let's see how I do. And to be the first one in go mode, and if he takes first place, oh, I'm gonna run him over the coals for that, Nets. You with me?
I'm with you on that. He was like, well, call me fourth place, and at the time Ravlin hadn't joined, and we were like, well, so far you're third place, so he's gonna grind up, and definitely.
Yeah. I mean, his team looks pretty much ready to me. He may want a few more levels on Porum, but low 50s is great. But if he wants to do it, if he wants to grind, he needs to do it in a hurry before Magus catches up and gets that crystal.
Nope, he has decided, you know what? He knows the Zeromus fight to the community, the FE community. Fizz is an accomplished no 64 runner. He has a time, I think, in the low like 310s, like 318 or something like that. So he's not unfamiliar with the fight at lower levels. So this play, he knows how Z goes. So this play for him, I'm not too worried about. He can probably figure everything out on the fly. So,
although one thing to note is that with those vanilla speedrun strats with no 64, you go in there knowing exactly how fast Zeromus is going to go. You have your entire fight planned out. You have Cecil's agility set at a specific point, so you kind of understand how the flow of the battle will go. Here, because we don't have Cecil, and it's going to be whoever his middle character is, which I think is Yang, and Yang, pretty fast. So this fight could go off the rails in a hurry if Porum takes a big bang to the face.
Absolutely, but he's probably, maybe he's going to do one final check and hopefully not have Yang in the middle, because you're right, that would be quite fast.
Yeah, his entire front row is very fast. Kane, Young, Edge, all super speedy characters. Maybe fine, but it could be very, very interesting. So let's see if he makes this in one go, or if it gives Magus time to catch up.
Oh, if Yang has 28 agility, as Muppets is saying in chat, then perhaps it'll go okay. 1 Care 3. Maybe he's going to nerf. Maybe he's going to use Palom to nerf Big Bang, and we will see what we see.
Even then, the timing's tricky. If that nuke that comes out to counter our attack hits Porum in the face.
Yep.
But Magus, exits out, is going back to check the final lunar subterranean boss. We'll get the pan Question is he also going to check Bahamut's spot, or will he come right back to Earth?
And also, we are going to see our favorite sprite, the Z sprite, courtesy of Scala Kitty. And it is, I have no idea who this is.
It says Virtumus. I would guess this is the legendary super boss from Final Fantasy XI. Is that Absolute Virtue from Final Fantasy XI? I know Scala was in the chat. Let's see. Okay, yeah, people are confirming. The legendary super boss that I think sent some link shells or whatever they were called to the hospital. Turns out that sitting in a fight for 24 something hours is not quite as good for your health as you may think. Great addition though, legendary super boss from a classic MMO, and kind of creepy looking to boot.
So yeah, unfortunately, Fizz was able to nerf that first Big Bang, and Porum survives. She's going to cast Cure for everybody's going to be happy, and it might be a slower fight, but
yeah, I don't think he has Bacchus Wines. That's another strat that vanilla speedrunners may not be fully aware of. It's not something that we get in the US version. We have the J flag on, so we get access to all these juicy J items. And without taking... Okay, he is taking time to get at least a Berserk cast off. But if he's not... Okay, he is going for the nerf.
Yes, we'll see if he gets it.
Gotta hope that counter nuke does not hit Porum, though, or this will be really bad.
Yeah. Sometimes what I might do is just throw a Star Veil on Porum.
But then you're on the risk of her not being able to heal post-Big Bangs. But he dodges this one. It hits Kane. His White Mage is still in a safe spot. And you see immediate Big Bang. If that had hit Porum, the Fizz would have been in huge trouble. So dodges a bullet there.
So hyped, I have goosebumps right now.
This is edge of your seat Zeroma's fight, or Virtumus fight. So
yes. Unfortunately, Black Hole goes up, but that's just part of the script. That's going to happen.
Hey, as long as he can keep Porum going, he'll be fine.
Yep, absolutely. He's doing enough damage to Virtumus. Sorry, I never played Final Fantasy XI, so yeah.
Oh, I've read the stories.
Magus did just pick up the pan. I was just going to let everybody know while we see Fizz here. Fizz is in the lead, but if he does wipe, I feel like he is going to quickly lose that advantage.
Casting Cure 3 on Kane. Kane popping a Silk Web, which should nerf the Big Bang, but again, we have to worry about who this counter nuke hits.
And it hits Palom.
No, Palom's going to take a nap here in a second.
Yep.
Still better than Porum taking the nap.
This is very true. This is very true.
Magus is on his way, though. He will be following these breadcrumbs, getting his crystal, and following suit in a hurry. Gingerdamus appears to be fighting, I believe those guards are fought at Ogopogo spots. So Gingerdamus has made the moon play, and as long as he clears it out, he will be finding his pan as well, which can lead to the crystal ultimately. But if the Fizz doesn't manage this Z fight that well, eLmaGus can come in and steal it from him.
Absolutely. It's still... It's a two-horse race at this point. Magus is behind, but he could quickly catch up. He has not tossed the spoon, Chad is saying. Maybe he's looking for it now? Nope. Using Edge to Cure. Interesting.
Trying to keep those HP up. And this is one big thing about the randomizer, that this Zeroma's fight is the most major thing where practice pays off. The routing, yes, it's K2. There will be gambles, there will be situations where you make a decision, your opponent doesn't, and you get a huge lead. But the Zeroma's fight, especially with, weaker teams, having Porum as your healer, if you've not practiced this, it's going to hurt. And this may be enough for eLmaGus to catch back up. I think this is an unnerfed Big Bang.
I believe so, and unfortunately, Keen is down. Or not Keen is down. Yang is down, and his White Mage is down. He's only really got one play.
Honestly, you either time these jumps with Kane, or you take the reset and you get back in here in a hurry. Those are my choices. Trying to do it with just these two characters and a stack of Cure 2s,
not happening.
Yeah.
Just not happening. Unless somehow he's done enough to nope, because he's shook again. So he did finally throw the spoon at Virtumus and did 10k, and that's going to be a wipe.
Yeah, hits his reset button. Question is he going to look for life potions? Is he going to look for Cure 3s? Is he just going to try to nerf better? I see one reason why she was taking so much damage. Not very good defensive gear, especially magic defensive gear. That one guy ahead won't do a lot of work. eLmaGus, on the other hand, he has his crystal, but he went and turned in the pink tail. He has an adamant armor, not putting it on the white mage, figuring her 2100 HP from all his lunar boss fights will be enough, and rightfully so. That adamant is going to let Yang do ridiculous DPS over this fight. Be looking for that monk to do like 4,000 damage a hit if berserked.
Yeah, absolutely. I would, even though they're going to go in at practically the same time. Although Fizz taking some menu time here.
I like that eLmaGus going into this fight, leaving the poison on, knowing he gets a full heal and status element cleanse before it. Little Ice Rhino vision for everyone.
Yep, practically. But again, I would say just based on experience and just gear in general, because Porum actually is still only rocking the original staff. So that's definitely not helping her Cure 4s. I noticed they were doing low 900s to low 1000s. So
yeah. And chat pointing out that Gingerdamus did leave the Lunar Subterrane after getting the tower key at the Ogopogo spot, making a gamble here, not full clearing the moon. Of course, we know that he won't be rewarded for it. Possibly only, well, no. We've seen every key item at this point. This will be Bupkis.
yeah.
But, you know, we're 90 minutes into this race. You've not seen anyone done. You kind of want to, you know, make a play, make a gamble, see if it can get you the edge. Not going to in this case, but sometimes that's what you have to do. Especially because Gingerdamus did come in 4th place in their first match. So if you want to advance to that round of 16, you need to be making these plays to accrue points. Just this play not paying off, only giving a ribbon.
And definitely Magus has Bacchus wines, so and just a little more familiar with how the J items work definitely helps you out in regards to this.
And not just that, but the levels, the gold apples that he gave Porum to get her HP up, like the 1686 HP Porum on TheFiz versus the 2152 HP on eLmaGus's is going to make a massive difference this fight. Magus can, in all likelihood, eat an unnerfed Big Bang and keep his white mage going.
Yeah. Just so much action.
At first, Big Bang being nerfed. I'm sorry if I'm getting a little nervous here too. You know, I'm watching both of them. I'm hoping that they get their nerfs done, or they just keep their HP topped up high enough. Magus going to do a little bit of reflect strats, slapping a Moon Veil on Palom. Maybe instead of nerfing more Big Bangs, he's just going to cast spells off of himself and do damage that way.
Definitely a valid play. He wants to avoid those counter nukes, especially. You never know. I mean, his farm's at 1600 right now, so he definitely doesn't want bad things to happen. Especially his Palom's only at 1000. Even a nerf Big Bang might take him out at this point. So definitely the smart place to go there. Unfortunately, Porum getting hit on the Fizz's side is definitely going to be no bueno territory.
Yeah, and if she doesn't have a turn come up soon enough, yep, that's rip Porum. The and that's another thing too, that sometimes even your party order makes a difference. Even if you're using agility anchor strats, sometimes it matters. I want Palom in spot 4 and Porum in spot 5. That way, if they have roughly the same agility, Palom will go first, use that nuke. Porum's turn is ready to heal up whoever eats the counter nuke. So even subtle things like that can make a huge difference in how your Zeromus fights play out.
Not Night Dew. Actually, on Magus' side, Palom and Porum are switched. So Palom is down. So Magus is still in there. Without a Palom, it's not the end of the world. He's got 3 of the top DPSers doing damage there. 2,600 from Edge, 3K. Like you had said, Inven, almost 4K from Yang.
Yeah, and this was definitely part of his plan as well. If you put a Starveil or Moonveil on a character to bounce some spells off of, you know they're not getting healed. You're saying, I'm not going to take the time to throw Cure 2s and Cure 3s on them, and my White Mage is just going to bonk their healing off of them. That's fine. I don't expect this character to live. It's part of my plan. Let's get a little damage in with them now, and just keep pushing through with our front line.
Yeah, Dark Seagull, this is the final boss on eLmaGus' side. Fizz looking to level up just a little bit more, apparently. Is he at 10k items?
Yes, should be. There were so many key items on Earth, it would surprise me if you weren't.
Yeah.
But yeah, even though Fizz took 2 wipes and had to come back for increased grind, try to get those HP on Porum, still looking in really great shape. Gingerdamus and RavlinBay are both still down here in Feymarch, and we know our crystal lies through the moon, specifically the Dr. Lugay fight at Pel Dim, holding the pan, then Sheila 2 holding the crystal.
Pale Dim holding the light sword. Magus in the Meteor phase, so I'm going to just go out on a small limb here and say he is going to be done, and we do have a dot done.
Oh, don't spoil it, Nitz. Wait for the finish on screen. Come on.
Oh, I forgot.
I know you're excited. We all are. But let's give the audience time to catch up. There we go. We have the flash. Nitz, you want to tell us what that finish time was?
Sure, absolutely. eLmaGus finishing first in a time of 1 hour, 35 minutes, and 22 seconds.
GG to eLmaGus. Good job coming from behind on this leg, on this race. Had very smart plays. It wasn't just the luck of fighting additional bosses. It was keeping in mind, if I'm using Porum, I need to save apples. I need to get her HP up. She needs to be ready and equipped to deal with these unnerved big bangs. So, not just a luck issue, not just an XP issue, but those conscious decisions to make the most of his team, and it paid off for him.
And eLmaGus winning gets 4 points, putting him to 8 points, I believe.
That puts him first overall in the league. Couch 23 will have a chance to catch him tonight. Right now, we do have Magus with 8 points, first overall. Coming in second is Supremacy with 7 points overall, having a first place win and a second place right behind eLmaGus in our opener. But yeah, tonight of our racers, only Couch already has 4 points, so tonight we'll know if Magus has a clear lead in the league, or if there's still some people keeping neck and neck with him.
Absolutely. So tune in tonight. Again, great racers coming up, and great commentators coming up as well tonight.
Yeah. And eLmaGus will be with us in a minute. He just needed to take a little time to decompress after the race. We'll be getting him in for an interview shortly.
Ben Show, it's tough to say. I was informed that Yang had 28 agility, so it was just his White Mage form didn't have enough HP, basically. The next race, I believe, is at 7:30.
No, tonight's next Zemus-Zone league match is at 9 o'clock Eastern. Here on RPG Limit Break, and we do have a community race that'll be starting half an hour later on the Randomania network. So plenty more Final Fantasy IV free enterprise action to watch tonight. I am probably going to be watching both those races simultaneously myself. And we are joined by our winner, eLmaGus. GG, dude.
Thanks.
We know you had a little technical difficulties, and we got the second seed rolling. So let's not even talk about that first seed. How did you feel about this one that you ran in one?
Yeah, so I had to switch like my setup, which I was really nervous about that because it played like super differently, and the seed in general went really well for me, to be honest. Like, I can't really complain about too many things. Like, it was pretty much straightforward, but there was always this, like, I'm on a different setup, and now, you know, things are different, and I was always panicking before every boss. I don't know.
Well, just as a little point of what actually happened in the race, TheFiz managed to beat you to Zeromus, but he didn't have the levels you did from your moon bosses. He hadn't saved those gold apples for Porum, so he took a couple wipes and had to do a little regrinding, and that let you pull back ahead and clinch it. The 2100 HP Porum served you quite well.
I see.
Yeah, he had depaled him first, whereas you had obviously done it a little bit later. So.
Yeah.
So you are now first place in the league, 8 points. You passed Supremacy, who currently sitting at 7. Couch has a chance to catch you tonight, but when is your next league race?
Good question. Let me quickly check. I already have both scheduled, but I have such a busy schedule that I don't know that offhand. But I can check real quick. Give me a moment. It's relatively soon, within the next 5 days, I believe.
Gotcha.
Where is it? So my next race is going to be on Sunday. There you go. It's 6 days. My bad.
Gotcha. So Sunday, and about what time?
Same time, pretty much 1:30 Eastern.
Cool. Any opponents you're looking forward to facing in that race?
I really don't like specifically look forward to facing anybody. That's not like to say like because everybody is dangerous on its own, you know. Like it's everybody's dangerous, so like I just gotta play my game and see how I finish with that, really, rather than looking at my opponents.
Gotcha. Hey, great attitude to have with it. It clearly paid off for you today. You were. We felt a little bad at most points during this race. You know, people were crisscrossing paths, and you were the one forging new territory. So it's like, well, eLmaGus is showing us this key item, and this key item, and this key item. So you definitely put in work today. GG's again.
Thanks.
We do have TheFiz back in his Zeromus fight. Should be wrapping it up pretty soon. Do you have any parting thoughts for us today, eLmaGus?
I want to thank the guys for rematching. That's not like a thing that anybody would do, so thank you very much for that, even though they will probably just see that in the VOD. Thank you. This power search thing happens with my ST2 SNES and free enterprise only, and I don't know why. I'm really scared now, but yeah. Thank you to the guys for doing that. That's really awesome of them. Much appreciated. And yeah, thanks everybody for commentating and restreaming, of course.
Absolutely. Again, GG to you, and thanks for racing, and thanks for putting on a great show. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks.
All right. And when we do have TheFiz, again, here on his second go, Porum with a much hardier, plus or over 2,000 HP, should be in better shape. RavlinBay found the pan at the Peldim spot and has come back to Earth, as has Gingerdamus. So these two are going to be neck and neck racing for 3rd and 4th place. TheFiz should have this fight under control. We're not going to make any assumptions yet, but hold your breath and let's see if he gets through it cleanly this time.
Absolutely. So far, it seems to be going much better.
Ginger and Ravlin neck and neck. Hopefully neither one of them feels compelled to do additional grinding. Hopefully they don't think, oh, I should go buy a few more items, because that could cost them this at this point.
Exactly. Like even Ginger is like, poison walk be damned. I'm going to go and hit Yang over the head with a pan, and we're just going to keep on trucking because nobody got time to fix that. So.
What's kind of funny here is that the way that they route their airship flight to Sheila may make a difference in who finishes here.
Absolutely. Fabul's, sort of tucked away there.
Yeah.
You kind of forget where it is sometimes.
When the step routing actually makes a difference in free enterprise. Whoops,
Wow.
Ravlin missing his airship for a second there. Gotta get on board.
Well, and Ginger went the wrong way, so took it from the top and not the bottom. Or maybe that is a faster way.
Oh, and Ravlin coming in with the swag landing, not even holding the Y button down. Gotta love those crisp airship landings.
Absolutely. They probably practice those off stream all the time.
Hey, you know, you don't want to crash into the castle, send everyone screaming in terror.
No, exactly.
The 28 HP Porum on the Fiz's screen. Get
Oh,
that Cure 4 off. Get it off, Fizz. Come on, man.
quickly, before it's too late.
20,
16.
16,
Oh,
14.
12.
Cast it.
It's got, oh, big 10.
There we go.
Oh, boy.
Much.
Oh, that was something.
Although he needs to cast another one. I would not be taking time to berserk fighters. They need to just do their damage on their own for a second, because she's only at half HP even after that roll. Her willpower is not high enough to get, 2,000 HP off on all 5 characters.
No, because if you were to look at her gear, she's still rocking like the base staff. So, but he is able to get to Meteor phase. So I'm not spoiling anything. But
Yeah. So no need for healing at this point, really. As long as those front 3 get a few attacks off, Palom casts Nuke, should be cleaning up this second place in short order.
yeah, which is very good. It's second place. He might be a little disappointed, but I would definitely say a great showing in regards to that.
Oh yeah, and if it's your first race as well, you still have 3 more to go. It gives you a big confidence boost to know I beat the first place opponent to the final boss. Just didn't quite have what it took to get through there, but still pulled second. That has to be a huge confidence booster for the Fizz, who has finished official time of 1 hour, 44 minutes, and 54 seconds.
GG to the Fizz, getting 3 points for his second place finish. And we are going to see a neck and neck for third at this point. Looks as though Ginger is into the fight just slightly ahead of Ravlin.
Absolutely, but of course, could still make a difference. I didn't pay full attention to the team composition. I do see that Gingerdamus does have both Rosa and Porum, but may also have 4 different people who can cast White or Nuke. So if Gingerdamus does those reflect strats and only has to burn through 61,000 HP, it'll be a much shorter fight for him than Ravlin.
Absolutely, whereas it looks as though...
But while they're getting this fight underway, we are joined by the Fizz. Fizz, I thought you said we could just call you 4th place. What are you doing lying to us?
You should have, honestly. I gambled so much. I'm going to the moon right now. It's 20 minutes in. Let's go.
But the funny thing is that you went to the right boss at the right spot. You had to bug out. But
that's what's funny is if I had the right, if that was the, let's say it was a Water Hag and it was whatever, and I could have done it, that would have been the biggest play the whole league, I think. Honestly.
Oh yeah. You would have finished probably around the 40-minute mark
right.
instead of the 140 mark. So
right.
Other thoughts on the seed? Like you mentioned gambling. What are some of the gambles you made that you may like that you did, or in retrospect don't much care for?
My problem is I don't usually play seeds back to back, and I had a lot of trouble remembering what did I check, what didn't I check, what did I have. You probably saw me going through the menu a lot because I was like, wait, do I have life? Oh god, I don't have life. Oh god, I don't have Bacchus. That's what happened when I first walked into the zero fight. And judging by when eLmaGus finished, if I had everything I needed when I entered, I probably would have taken first.
Yeah, you were the first to this Zemus fight by a decent margin. Your second time going into it, you walked in at pretty much the exact same moment. But he did have the levels and the gear at that point.
Oh, if I enter the fight the same time as him, I'm gonna lose every time. It's just gonna be that's just what it's gonna be. I mean, I know that fight well, but I don't know it as well as he does.
Yeah. Another thing though, he did in his interview express great thanks to everyone for the reroll. Tech issues happen, and the fact that you all were willing to do that was a great show of sportsmanship. GG on that. And how are you feeling with your second place win? You have 3 matches to go, right?
Yeah, I do have 3 matches to go. I feel really good, actually. You know, part of me is like, oh, I'm not gonna just fail out and then not have to like grind this anymore, because it almost takes away from the fun of it sometimes, like feeling like I have to practice. But at the same point, it's just fun to when you play by yourself, you really can't, like, you don't know where you're standing. So it's nice to be able to do these, and I'm excited for more.
Gotcha. And I am going to actually, sorry not to cut you short, but
Yeah.
I think we're about to see something. There
Oh,
we go.
yeah, there it is.
Gingerdamus has done the quick kill strats, only having to burn through 61,000 HP
Oh,
instead
he
of the full
reflected.
amount, and taken third place with a time of 1 hour, 48 minutes, and 33 seconds. GG to Gingerdamus. We may be getting them in here for an interview in a minute. RavlinBay should be finishing up soon as well. Quickly, TheFiz, when is your next match? Do you know?
You know, I have one scheduled, that not till a while, so I imagine my other 2 aren't scheduled yet. I imagine those will come in before that. So
Ah, gotcha. Well, yeah, looking forward to it. Hope you get those matches scheduled, and we'll see you here at a RPG Limit Break again fairly soon.
sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Hey, have a good one.
You-
Gee.
Hopefully
So,
we'll
yeah.
get Gingerdamus in here soon. Gonna have a couple questions about their strats and everything. Nits, what were you saying?
Yep. Oh, I was just saying to chat, this is the difference between using reflect strats and not using reflect strats. As you see, Ravlin's still at it. Not slow, but obviously it's the difference between third and fourth, which could end up being huge.
Absolutely, absolutely. Ginger did have a little head start coming into the fight, and then shaving off the entire last half or more of it. Definitely paying off with this team.
Yeah, I was concerned with him going in with 4 mages, but I noticed his levels were up quite enough. His HP was good enough that it probably ultimately is not a problem there. Whereas Ravlin comes in very, very low HP Porum, 1600, and is somehow still surviving, casting Cure 3. And
Yeah, and that's another good thing, that I like how Ginger did take both Rosa and Porum. It gives you that safety. If we hadn't fought enough bosses to get those levels, you at least can hope, well, if one of them gets high rolled on, the other one may still survive, can cast, life. Or if I'm doing, if you weren't doing reflect strats and you were doing the nuke strats, you can't nuke both your white mages at once.
this Griever Lionheart, this is from Final Fantasy XI. It's Absolute Virtue. I've been told. I've never played FF11 myself, so.
I've not either. I just know it was the legendary super boss that a team finally beat by abusing some part of the game's code, and it still took them 20, 30 hours.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
Yeah, my bones hurt just thinking about it.
Porum clutch with about 80 HP. Fortunately, that nuke hitting Yang and not, because Porum would be down and things would be much, much worse in regards to that. Ginger's going to join us in just a moment here.
Yeah, just restarting their Discord, and then I'm looking forward to asking them about some of their moon gambles. Oh, it's launched into the update bug, so we might not be getting Ginger here today. Depends on how long that update takes. I will go ahead and, on Gingerdamus' behalf, let you know that their next match is... Oh, it's on August 18th at 7 Eastern against myself, Invenerable, Swimmy Leone, and Couch23. So that'll be a really great match to tune in for. Gingerdamus' third. So if we don't get him in chat, at least make sure you tune in that night and see their next race.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure. Sometimes you go down the rabbit hole and it works. Sometimes you do and it doesn't, but he's still definitely in it. That will be a hype race on the 18th for sure. And will be probably make or break for Ginger at that point. It'll be a must win, or at least a must second place to want to at least comfortably move on. They're the play-in races, but
Yeah, having gotten the 2 points from this race, ooh, that was a nasty big bang. RavlinBay does have life potions. Gonna try to get Porum back up in time to save this.
But in the meteor phase, what do you do? Do you press on?
I I mean, it depends. If she can get a turn, she can heal everyone up. But if the Meteo hits her,
Then it's game over.
yeah. So let's see if the Cure 4 goes off in time, or if she at least dodges it. Dodge it, Porum. Dodge it.
Oh, huge.
Clutch. Clutch.
You're on the edge of your seat for that one.
Yep.
Now he should be okay.
Okay. Whew. Whew. So, RavlinBay should be wrapping up this fight. We are joined by Gingerdamus. You got that update already activated and everything there, Ginger?
I went ahead and went to the web client version, so forgive me when I'm push to talk. I'll try and talk sensibly.
Hey, you're
That's
fine.
okay.
GG wanted to say, love seeing those reflect strats. You and Ravlin actually entered the Z fight at about the same time, but you had a lot fewer HP to burn through. So, what made you decide to shoot for the reflect strats this seed?
Wasn't very good. I didn't have much for Kane. I didn't have any Zeus gauntlets. There were no really good like fighter items, so I just kind of decided, well, I've got 2 mages already. I can get the 3rd. I can grind easily, and I was like, yeah, it seems like probably the path of least resistance. So I'm glad I went with it anyway.
Gotcha. And if you hold on 1 second, with this last Meteo, I think we're about to get. There we go. RavlinBay has finished. Official time of 1 hour, 54 minutes, and 18 seconds. Finishing the seed, even with the 4th place. Sorry, not trying to take away from you, Ginger, of course. While you were getting connected, we went ahead and let people know about your upcoming race. The other thing I wanted to ask you about was on the moon. You got that tower key at Ogopogo spot and immediately came back to Earth. Was that a calculated risk? Did you want to gamble because of how long the seed had been running? What motivated your decision there?
It largely was because the seed was running so long, and I mean, eLmaGus not done in an hour and a half. I'm like, okay, there should or will likely be something tricky for the crystal on this seed, so I jetted back. And then when I got back, I was like, oh, well, I didn't do Leviathan or Azura spots, so I just kind of made a really efficient trip out of it that didn't pay off, but did everything really quick anyway, was the point.
Hey, gotcha. And that's how K2 is going to do, these item chains, because there was a massive item chain on this one that ultimately led to, well, for you it led to Rosa at least, and let you have, double white mage for your fight. But as far as key items go, it was very long chain, very long rabbit hole. Didn't do that much.
That rando's gonna rando, man. Sometimes you're 17 out of 18, sometimes you're 3 out of 18. That's just the game.
And we do have RavlinBay joining us as well. GG Ravlin. Thoughts on the seed?
I just made all the wrong choices.
So rando gonna rando.
Yeah, I sort of made the gamble that when I saw the darkness crystal, I knew someone was going to go for darkness early. So I decided that I wasn't, and I wasn't going to dive the lunar subterrane and hope that I was right, and I was not.
That's actually kind of funny because here in the booth, Nitsky and I were thinking, we have darkness. Who's going to go for it? Who's going to go for it? And ultimately, TheFiz went and looked at one boss, then came back to Earth. But for the most part, everyone full cleared Earth before making the lunar jump. So yeah, if anyone had made that, they would have probably had a massive first place finish. But you all did great, very close race. When's your next one going to be, Ravlin?
Oh Lord, I have to look at my count. I think it's later this week. It's not that far. I want to say Saturday.
Saturday? Okay, let me see here. I actually have the calendar pulled up. Is it the one against Dragon Darch, Z-Man, and Vitasia?
I believe so.
Okay, that one's actually Sunday at 8 o'clock Eastern. So both you and eLmaGus have your next matches this coming Sunday for anyone who wants to see more of the racers today. And yeah, should be a good one. You both, well, Ginger, you have 2 races to go, and Ravlin, you have 3 to go, right?
Yep, this was my first one of the round of 32.
Gotcha. Well, good luck on your upcoming races. Either of you have any final thoughts about the seed today?
No, it just took me far too long to get a healer. That was obnoxious.
Absolutely.
You were not alone in that.
If you watch the VOD, you'll get to see eLmaGus just throwing Rosa in the trash, and can feel a little annoyed at that. I know I felt bad. And we mentioned this to TheFiz. During his interview, he thanked you both profusely for doing the reroll. Really appreciated that. Really great sportsmanship on both of your parts. Thank you again for giving us a more fair of a show.
Yep.
Hey man, fun's more important than winning, and still had fun.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Nitsky, Rivers, y'all got anything else?
Nope.
I'm gonna take that as a no from Nitsky. All right, we will be back tonight at 9 Eastern for the Night Dew Couch 23 Aizen Tayama and Dragon Dark match. Have Abda Jr. on the mic for that one, and someone unknown at the moment, and Supremacy Tracking. But please come back at 9 Eastern, and we will put on another show for you guys.